was born a simple man, educated just to fight. But I got soul, I got conviction, and a will to put things right. We lived our lives on grinding metal, for our people we have bled. We take comfort in the rhythm of machine guns spitting lead. Grind for the dawn, backbone and brawn, survive as the last of our kind. 'Cause the way out is through, kickbacks long overdue. Grab your gear, grab your gun, join the grind. To my friends and fallen brothers, you have offered us a chance to build a future from the wreckage in this desolate expanse. We won't let this world forget you, we got so much here to mend. You were soldiers for a while, but you'll be brothers to the end. Grind for the dawn, backbone and brawn, survive as the last of our kind. 'Cause the way out is through, kickbacks long overdue. Grab your gear, grab your gun, join the grind.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100 for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. I'm Under Sleppy, your lead announcer for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, and joining me, as always, my right-hand man, Jacob Bell. Jake, how's it going?
What's up, man? I'm excited. We got the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100, some really cool throwback schemes that we're going to get a chance to take a look at here tonight. They have a separate $20 to win for the best appearing throwback scheme, and Miller Racing Graphics also put up $30 to win to the race winner here tonight. So we got some cool schemes, and you guys in the chat are going to get a chance to vote on whose scheme you like the best, and we're going to get a chance to take a look through some of these guys' cars tonight. I think we should start off with car number 1. The first entry into our throwback event tonight is James Shanewolf in the number 1. He is running a Donnie Allison scheme throwback to his legendary scheme. You see it there. It's got the rustic look on the front. It's obviously a great tribute to one of the Allisons, and it's a good looking car there too. As you can see, Shane Wolf coming out. We got a minute and 50 seconds left to practice till these guys start qualifying. Our next throwback entry scheme, we got us the number 20 of Jeremy Knapp, who's throwing his car back to the Smoking Joe's car for Jimmy Spencer. If you can get a look at the side shot there, Harold, so everybody can see the sides of the cars too. Interesting paint scheme for the 20. There you see a better look at it with the green number, the blue on the front, yellow on the side. Our third throwback entry car is Rick Ward in the 34. He is probably the most famous one, Hunter. You gotta guess on who this one's going to.
I would assume it's going to go to Rick Ward. He's got the Dale Senior Wrangler jeans throwback. Pretty iconic colors there.
Great looking car for Rick Ward. The next entry we got tonight is the 37 of Cliff Mullins. Cliff is actually throwing it back to a local track legend, Barry Beggerly, who raced up in his neck of the woods up there and was always a big fan. He said growing up was the GOAT up there is what they used to call him. So Another throwback entry we got is the number 40 at Matthew Robinson, obviously throwing it back to Sterling Marlin and the Silver Bullet Machine, a legendary one. Of course, a good-looking throwback scheme there with a few of his actual sponsors on there. And then we got the 41 of Dean Gagliano, throwing it back to Harry Gant, legendary Skull paint scheme, another awesome throwback here tonight. And then our final two throwback schemes, we got the 52 of Carter Coop, Hunter. I really like this one. Carter is actually throwing it back to his dad's paint scheme back when his dad used to race. So it's a pretty cool tribute there on Father's Day in that 52. And the final entry we got into our throwback contest is the number 84 of Jeremy Rigney, who's throwing it back to Bob Seneker, who is his dad's favorite short track driver, Bob Seneker. The Bluebird is the nickname of that car. So cool scheme there for Jeremy Rigney as these guys are about to jump out and get into qualifying. Of course, we got 14 entries on tonight. They got to have 5 minutes to qualify, Hunter, and then we're going to break them up into 2 6-lap heats. Man, we had to run through those schemes really quickly so everybody could get a quick look at these guys' cars before we start our first poll of the night here following qualifying. But yeah, I think we got some good-looking cars and some good-looking drivers heading out here to qualify. See the 41 of Dean Gagliano, the 20 of Jeremy Knapp, the 84 of Jeremy Rigney's also on track, the 56 of Dawson Miller. As you see there's the 41 of Dean Gagliano, Hunter.
Dean Gagliano, the number 41, going out for his qualifying lap. Just a little over 4 minutes left in the qualifying session. You see him riding through 1 and 2.
And took the green flag here on the back straightaway on his first qualifying lap. 0.625 miles is the length of North Wilkesboro, the legendary track that we are at here tonight. Pretty cool to get something like this on the iRacing with a different, vibe to it. As a 19.48 for Dean Gagliano goes to the top of the charts on his first lap. And looks like he's going to go ahead and actually give up on the second lap here. Got a little loose, a little high off of turn 2 there. So don't think that lap's going to pick up. You got Ed Morris Sr. now in the number 14. No throwback scheme for Ed tonight, but he's driving the Primetime Motorsports late model entry. Of course, Ed Morris Jr., the owner of Primetime Motorsports, his son. His dad's down here racing in the late model series, repping the team on his car. So he heads through 3 and 4 on his qualifying lap. Let's see what Ed Morris Sr., where he's going to line up here.
Yeah, like loose coming out of 4.
Yep. 19.75 for Ed Morris Sr. It's going to chart him 7th. See Carter Coop is another one putting in some laps. We still got 5 guys left to head out on track for their qualifying run.
One of those guys is Pierce Maffitt, as he just went up to 3rd on the chart with a 19.452. He's going to park in the middle of 1 and 2. 1 and done for him. There's Jake Bustos in 74, another one that's not yet put a lap time down. Also, Matthew Robinson and James Shanewolf, kind of the talk of the town the last couple of weeks. They are the only other ones who have not put a lap down yet. There's that number 1 of James Shanewolf. Last week's winner at Stafford. Controversial win at Stafford, I should say. Oh, we got a little loose there in turn 3. There's Matthew Robinson, your points leader, heading into the night's race. There you see him off on the front stretch. I believe he's taking the green flag on his qualifying lap right now. Should point out that lap from James Shanewolf with 19.555. That's good enough for 6th. He just actually moved up to 3rd on his second lap with a 19.451. Matthew Robinson, though, top of the chart, a 19.281. That's about a 10th quicker than Sebastian Taylor, who now sits in 2nd. And looks like the only driver that hasn't put a lap down is Jake Bustos, so he might have scraped the wall and it might have disallowed his lap time. Still have over a minute 30 left, but I believe everyone has gone out and put their qualifying times on the board. You see on the left-hand side of your screen.
Matthew Robinson at the top of the charts. Not a huge surprise there, as we got, as Hunter just mentioned, just over a minute left here of qualifying before the times are official. But looking good for the 40 of Matthew Robinson. Sebastian Taylor joining us back here in the series. He's got the 2nd quickest time now, as these drivers are about to finish their qualifying runs here. and then head into a quick driver's meeting as we got a 15-minute break in between the finish of qualifying and before we start heat race 1. 15 minutes is usually used for the driver's meeting. And then tonight we are also going to do our first round of the Throwback Scheme contest. So just going to try to explain it as best as I can here tonight, guys. We have 2 rounds of the Throwback Scheme contest, and this is just picking your favorite scheme of the night. The first round of the Throwback Scheme contest is about to begin in about 1 minute's time. You'll see a poll feature pop up in the chat. You'll have 5 minutes to answer the poll. You need to have a Twitch account, and it's free to vote. Your first vote is free, like I just mentioned, and you're going to have 4 options in the first round. The top 2 choices, so whichever 2 drivers have the most votes at the end of the will advance to the final round at the end of the night. And then after this poll ends, we'll have another group of the Throwback Schemes for for tonight's event. The top 2 from that will also go to the final round, and then we'll have a final round where the top 4 schemes are voted on amongst the chat, and the winner gets $20 tonight. So the chat, you guys are an important part. That poll is about to go live now. You're gonna see it in your chat section on the Twitch channel. It's gonna say your favorite Throwback Scheme round 1. The top 2 advance. Your choices are James Shanewolf, Jeremy Knapp, Rick Ward, and Cliff Mullins. Those 4 drivers are eligible for your votes. The poll just went up. Again, your first vote is free, and then if you want to do additional votes, they are 25 bits to get in some extra votes. So let's see who's the early favorite in our Throwback Scheme contest. We got some votes coming in already on it. I see Jeremy Knapp looking like he's got a few fans in the chat. No surprise there. Taking an early lead in that number 20 scheme.
Yeah, Jeremy Knapp always has a strong fan base in the chats for.
He's got an early lead, Hunter. It's pretty large. We got 69% going for Jeremy Knapp right now in the chat. Looks like James Shanewolf right now is the second favorite scheme. Harold, if you just kind of want to rotate between these 4 guys, we got the 1 of Shanewolf, the 20 of Jeremy Knapp, the 34 of Rick Ward, and the 37 of Cliff Mullins. Remember, your top 2 favorite paint schemes will advance onto the final round tonight. So let's see. Let's see who the chat decides. Hey, Snaggles, you don't enter your option in the chat necessarily. You'll see a poll option in the same thing with Muffin down there in the chat, guys. You guys will see a poll. You go ahead and click on the poll. It'll open up. You guys will have 4 choices there. You got to go ahead and vote for your favorite. And man, Jeremy Knapp's got a. Oh, you said I'm just shouting out my boy. Jeremy Knapp's got a pretty sizable advantage. I think he's safe to move on to the final round later tonight.
It seems like it. He's still got about 50% of the vote. Shanewolf there with a close 33, and then Rick Ward and Cliff Mullins got 8% of the vote.
I appreciate everybody hopping down into the chat though, checking out. This is of course something new we're trying out tonight, and we couldn't have done it without. As Harold's got the number 1 there, that's James Shanewolf's Donnie Allison throwback on the screen there. We couldn't have done it tonight without our sponsor, Miller Racing Graphics, putting on an awesome event, the Throwback 100. I mean, Hunter, we both know Dawson personally, the owner of Miller Racing Graphics. He's a huge fan of this throwback deal, and he thought it was an awesome idea. Come out to North Wilkesboro, get these guys some throwback schemes, offer some money to see who can get the fan favorite. Like I said, there you see the 20 of Jeremy Knapp, the current leader in the poll. He's got 46% of the vote, so it looks like Jeremy Knapp might be moving on to the final round in the Jimmy Spencer Smoking Joe's paint scheme. Then there's the 34 Rick Ward, Hunter. I'm a little shocked. I thought we would have seen some more votes for the Dale Earnhardt scheme.
Yeah, I mean it's very the blue and yellow are very iconic, especially with the Wrangler colors and Dale Senior. Even Dale Jr. ran that similar paint scheme in 2010 at Daytona. Very shocked to see that it's at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. We got how much time we got? I think it's just got about a couple minutes left in the poll, so not a lot of time as these guys right now are in their drivers meeting. We're gonna have heat races coming up at the end of this 11 minutes, but we also got the second round, or the second group of our first round, I should say, to vote on coming up next. Is we got not sure how much time we got left on this poll, but I know it's just a few minutes. But we got a comeback. We got a comeback, Hunter. Shanewolf has tied it up.
Tied it up. 13 votes.
Remember, the top 2 vote getters will advance to the final round here tonight. Shanewolf coming in strong though with the late charge.
He's taking the lead on and off the track.
Yeah, this is our race before the race tonight. See who the fan favorites are.
I was just gonna point out to sponsor Miller Racing Graphics. He actually designed the race logo at the beginning of the broadcast. We'll see it flash across the screen. It's a really nice logo there.
And we still got a lot of time left in this poll, man.
There's the race logo from Miller Racing Graphics. Very neat throwback logo in itself. And there's the CEO of Miller Racing Graphics in our chat room. Good to see. Number 56. He'll
CEO?
also be.
Is he a CEO technically?
He's the CEO of his own company. Yes. Founder, co-founder, owner, co-owner, CEO. He's all of the above.
It looks like the poll is almost over again. Top two are going to advance from the from this first round of voting. I think 5 minutes felt a little bit longer than I thought it would. I feel like this poll was taking a while, but looks like Jeremy Knapp is actually going to finish second. Top vote getter is going to be James Shanewolf, as we got just a few seconds left before the poll goes official. It's getting there, and there we go. There we go.
James Shanewolf.
James Shanewolf with 21 votes, 53%. He's the winner of round one of the paint scheme contest, the throwback scheme contest. And Jeremy Knapp is also going to advance in that number 20 throwback scheme there, Hunter.
Yeah, those are top two, the 37 and the 34. They were great throwbacks. Just Chad didn't think they were better than they didn't think they were better than the 1 and the 20.
Well, we do got some unique schemes there with the 20. So that one is new. We had some people chiming in about the 34 scheme being done before, Hunter. I think that's a good point. We have seen that quite a bit.
That's a good point.
I like the look though with the late model car. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to set up this other poll real quick, so getting confusing here. Got to set up the second group here real quick.
Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's Miller Racing Graphics 100, where the heat races will be getting started in about 8 minutes or so. But until then, we still have more voting for the throwback votes. Who's got the better throwback? You guys decide. It was James Shanewolf and Jeremy Knapp for the first round of voting, and then we'll get to the second round of voting here in just a minute.
Yeah, the poll is about to go up. I'm typing as quick as I can, folks. Last one. Okay. So the second group is going to consist of 4 drivers. Again, same rules. The top 2 vote getters will advance to the final round at the end of the race. You guys will have 5 minutes to vote. And these 4 drivers are the 40 of Matthew Robinson, the 41 of Dean Gagliano, the 52 of Carter Koop, the 84 of Jeremy Rigney. That's our next final group of throwback entries to see who will make up the last 2 spots in the final 4.
And there's the 41 of Dean Gagliano. Mixing a little bit of old with the new. Dogtopia on the hood and Skull on the side of the 41.
Dogtopia, of course, another sponsor here on the channel. Got to thank them for all the work that they do. Then you got Carter Koop. I really got to say, Carter did a great job with this scheme. He didn't go with the big name. He went with none other than his dad's paint scheme on Father's Day. I think that's pretty cool, man. You're honoring your dad. It's a throwback scheme, and it's on Father's Day. That was a pretty good idea. I got to give Carter credit there, and it's a good-looking car too. So shout out to Carter there for that scheme. And then our 4th entry on the poll is Jeremy Rigney. Yeah, Tyler, to answer your question, the final voting, these polls have been 5 minutes. The final voting will be 10 minutes, and it will open up when we have 10 laps to go in the race. That's when we're going to start the poll. You guys will have 10 minutes to vote. Give the drivers some time to finish racing, and if they want to come in and vote for themselves after the race, they will be able to do so. So we're going to open up the final round at the end of the race. And then I saw the 40
right now
there.
it's looking like.
Go ahead.
Go on. I was going to say Carter Coop's got a big lead early.
Carter Coop, 60% of the vote in the 52. Followed by Matthew Robinson, who's the second driver right now with the Silver Bullet, man. That's a pretty cool looking scheme. I think I like how he worked the wildlife removal on the hood instead of the Coors Light. I think that was it. I think that's a neat touch there.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever you can incorporate it to every little detail on the hood and the side of the car. Really nice paint scheme for that 40.
We got James Shane Wolf, who's doing a Donnie Allison throwback scheme, advanced to the final round. We got Jeremy Knapp, who's doing a Jimmy Spencer scheme, advanced to the final round. Let's see if this Harry Gant machine of Dean Gagliano, will he be one of the final four? As we got a few more minutes left here of voting before we kick off with some heat racing, man. We got all this talk about paint scheme and stuff. I forget we still got 2 6-lap heat races and a 100-lap feature left.
I mean, we haven't had 2 heat races in quite a while just for a low car count, but it's nice to see people coming out to North Wilkesboro racing. Going to put on more of a show for the fans with double the action in both heats.
Absolutely, I think it's a neat touch to have somebody like Miller Racing Graphics, sponsor this event. The $30 to win doesn't hurt, Hunter. I think a lot of these guys we're seeing some new faces here tonight showing up. I think they're trying to come in and get that $30 to win bonus, and then also the $20 to win bonus for the best paint scheme is a nice touch. I think Dawson Miller and all of us here on the Extreme Twitch channel, I think we did a pretty good job putting on this event. I'm looking forward to the rest of the night here.
Yep, just about a few more minutes in the poll and 4 more minutes before our first heat race on the night. Yeah,
then we'll get off the topic of paint schemes and we'll get on to probably a more important topic of racing, and that's I think it's gonna be interesting, man. This is like one of the first times we've seen North Wilkesboro on the schedule. As we got looks like the session actually was advanced. We're gonna go ahead because we did start a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, so that poll is gonna stay up for a few more minutes, folks. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into heat race number 1. 6 laps here tonight, as we're gonna get a chance to look at our starting lineup as these guys are gridding. And take a look and see who's slated up in heat race number 1. We got 7 drivers in the first heat and 7 drivers in the second heat. And here we go. The first heat starting lineup presented by Country Road Sports Cars up there. We got Matthew Robinson on pole and Cliff Mullen starting beside him in second.
Row 2 is going to consist of, it shows row 1 twice. Third place in row 2 is James Shanewolf in the 1 and Dean Gagliano 4th.
Starting 5th in heat race number 1 is Jeremy Rigby, and starting 6th is going to be Rick Ward, and Ed Morris Sr. is going to round out the field here for the Miller Racing Graphics heat race number 1. Man, we're moving quick tonight.
We are moving quick. This is a very short track, and tempers are very short also.
Yeah, we got Matthew Robinson up front. Man, he's been hard to beat this season, Hunter. I think I might have to put my money on him as we got our pole finish. Carter Coop and Matthew Robinson are the final 2 paint schemes advancing to the end of the night. So we're going to go ahead and set that information aside. We got the 40 and the 52 in, and we'll focus on some racing down here, Hunter.
So we will. We'll give the green flag this time by for the first heat race of the night. Now it's a 6-lap heat race. Cautions are off, so if you wreck your car, you're basically screwed until the drop of the green flag for the main event.
All right, here we go as these guys are coming through turns 3 and 4. Matthew Robinson on pole, Cliff Mullins in the 37 beside him. These guys are about to duke it out down here in turn 1 and 2. Pace car is off, green flag is out. Matthew Robinson's on the gas pedal.
Well, Cliff Mullins on the gas pedal too. Had a really nice launch, matching it with the 40 of Robinson as they go through 1 and 2.
And that 37 is hanging tough on the outside right now, man. He's not letting Robinson get away. He was on the outside exiting turn 2. He's on the outside going down into turn 3. Robinson's going to try to squeeze up in front of him. He'll lead lap 1.
Shane Wolf just about got into the bumper of the 37. He had to back off quite a bit. Now Dean Gagliano trying to pass outside. That's for 3rd. Whoa. Shane Wolf moving down, yeah.
I got to get used to the colors. I'm not used to seeing that red number 1 of Shane Wolf. I'm used to him in the black and blue car, but see him moving up onto the inside for P3. 3. Dean Gagliano, though, holding tough on the outside. One of the things I'm noticing here is that outside line don't look too bad as he gets really loose off the turn 2. Everybody corrals it. They save it down into turn 3. Oh, not for long. The 41 is
we got a major wreck.
Cars going around. Wow, we got the 41 up on his side. He comes down onto all 4 tires. He's looking pretty tore up right now. The 84 is getting going up front, though. Matthew Robinson continuing to show the way over Cliff Mullins when they hit the stripe. 2 laps to go in heat race number 1, presented by Miller Racing Graphics.
That 40's been on the gas pedal since the restart. He hasn't expected the 37 to stay right with him, so he had to get going quick.
Yeah, and all these heat races are going to determine tonight is the starting order. Essentially, there's some dual races. Nobody's going home. Everybody's in the show. White flag is out. Matthew Robinson's going to take 1 to go here at North Wilkesboro.
Down the backstretch they go for the final time, pending a last lap error through 3 and 4. It looks like Matthew Robinson's going to come off the corner. He's going to win the first heat race of the night, presented by Miller Racing Graphics.
Robinson gets it done. Cliff Mullins coming home second. Shane Wolf finishing third. Rick Ward and Ed Morris Sr. rounding out our top 5 in heat race number 1, presented by Miller Racing Graphics.
And there's the last 2. Jeremy Rigney 6th, then Dean Gagliano 7th. I believe he was the one that was on his side and then got back down on all 4s.
Yep, we saw a little bit of contact between those 2 drivers. As you see the Heat 2 lineup right there as well. Sebastian Taylor in the 27, returning to the late model series. He's going to start on pole for heat race number 2, presented by Dogtopia. Starting second is going to be Jake Bustos in the 74, a new face to the late model series, but a familiar face in the ARCA series on Monday nights.
Row number 2 is going to have Pierce Maffin in the number 6 and Jeremy Knapp, fan favorite, in the 4th spot.
Starting 5th in heat race number 2 is going to be Dawson Miller in the 56 car. Johnny Collier and Carter Cooper are going to round out the field for the second heat of the night, our final heat before we get our 100-lap feature event started, presented by Dogtopia, Fredericksburg, Virginia.
I was going to say, the second heat is typically the more action-packed heat of the night, but the first heat had a wreck coming off of 4, car going up and over. Oh, what can we see in heat number 2?
I think heat 2 is actually going to be the opposite. I think it's going to be calm tonight. You got Sebastian Taylor, Jake Bustos, Pierce Maffin. Those guys are pretty experienced. They've been around Extreme for a long time. You see them frequently in the ARCA series. I think these guys are going to be, veteran-like, take the race smooth, easy. I mean, actually, almost everybody in this entire starting field for this heat race number 2, almost all these guys have raced in the ARCA series for at least a season. So I think we'll see some of that veteranness. I don't know if that's the word, veteranness. I think we'll see some of that play out, and I think we'll see a smooth second heat. But you never know in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series.
Yeah, we'll see the experience from the drivers take place here as the pace car is about to pull off in the pit road, and the green flag's going to fly. Dogtopia heat number 2 is green.
Yeah, Taylor did a really good job on that start. He was actually able to clear the guy on his outside, move him up into sole possession of the lead. How about the 6th of Pierce Moffitt, man? First race in this late model series, looking strong. He's going to take over the 2nd spot, and Jake Bustos is going to follow suit in the 3rd spot.
56, just about to say, he moved up a spot, took 4th from Andrew Knapp in the 20, but, or Jeremy Knapp, sorry. I keep saying Andrew Knapp.
You love the president reference.
No, I call him, I have Andrew Knapp in my mind because I'm a Phillies fan, and one of the players on the Phillies' name is Andrew Knapp. So I don't know why that keeps coming into my mind.
I thought Andrew Knapp was a president. Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong.
Anyways, we'll just move on. Sebastian Taylor with a commanding lead going down into turn 3 here. Pierce Moffitt kind of reeled him in slowly, and so is Jake Bustos. Other than that, the 3 have pretty much broke away with the Smoking Joe's machine, Jeremy Knapp, running forward.
Sebastian Taylor with a 19.425 as we ride in car with him. This is kind of like a little extra practice session for him because he hasn't been racing the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series the last couple of weeks, and he's kind of fallen back in the points. So he's got to start getting in a rhythm if he wants to catch Matthew Robinson and even James Shanwolf, who's quickly moving up in the points.
Hey, the $30 to win, man, brought out a few more drivers, which is exactly what we wanted to see here in the late model series. So I think Sebastian Taylor came here with one thing on his mind, and that was finishing first and getting that money. One lap to go here in heat race number 2, presented by Dogtopia.
The battle for second still there with Bustos on the bumper of Maffitt, but up front of those guys, it's going to be Sebastian Taylor rolling through 3 and 4 for the last time. And heat race number 2, presented by Dogtopia, goes to the 27 of Sebastian Taylor.
Here's Moffitt, Jake Bustos, Jeremy Knapp, and Carter Coop rounding out your top 5 here tonight. That's going to wrap it up. You see Johnny Collier and Dawson Miller rounding out the rest of the field in heat race number 2. Heat racing's all done. Now we're going to grid these guys up. We're going to move quick into our 100-lap feature event. This is the big one, Hunter. $30 on the line here tonight. The Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100. We're just a few minutes away. And here's a look at our starting lineup presented by Country Road Sports Cards. Matthew Robinson, a dominant season so far. He's going to start on pole. Sebastian Taylor is going to be right on his outside, though, starting second.
Row number 2, it's going to be Cliff Mullins in the 37, trying to make a late season charge before the playoffs, and Pierce Maffin in the 6, starting 4th.
James Shanewoff is going to start 5th. He won last week's race at Stafford. Jake Bustos making his first start of the season down here in the late model series. He's going to roll off 6th.
Starting 7th in row 4, it's going to be Rick Ward Sr., and then starring alongside him is fan favorite Jeremy Knapp in the 20.
Nap Attack looking strong in the chat tonight. How about starting 9th, Ed Morris Sr. for Primetime Motorsports, and starting 10th, the 52 of Carter Cooper races for, what's that? Oh yeah, Jacob Bell Racing.
All right, row number 5 is going to be, row 6, sorry. Row 6 is going to be Jeremy Rigney in the 84 and Johnny Collier in the 33.
And then rounding out our field tonight is Dean Gagliano in the 41 and Dawson Miller in the 56. Chat, let us know, who's your prediction? We got 14 drivers. We got 100 laps at North Wilkesboro. Who's going to get it done? Hunter, you can go ahead and make your pick first.
Man, this is a tough one.
Well, Harold's next, so you got a little bit of time.
Got a little bit. I'm really... 6th of Method seems to be flashing in and out. Okay. I'm going to go with the 1 of Shane Wolf. I'm thinking he's going to go back-to-back, and he's going to keep this hot streak going.
Harold, who's your pick here tonight? 14 drivers. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick real quick. I'm going to be short and sweet. I think Jake Bustos in the 74 gets it done. Okay. Like it. We got 3 strong picks. Waiting for some more picks to come in the chat. We got 100 laps here tonight, folks. $30 to win. That's all that matters tonight is that first place position for a lot of these guys. Pace car is going to pull in here. The Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100 at North Wilkesboro is underway. Green flag is out, and we are underway.
40 cars on rails as he goes through 1 and 2 for the first time.
Yeah, he looked good. That was a good start by Matthew Robinson, jumping out, grabbing that lead. 3rd on back, though, they are going after one another. You got the 37 of Cliff Mullins. You got the 6 of Pierce Moffitt. I saw the 1 of James Shanewoff peeking his nose in there. It's a battle all over the place, except for the top spot.
Top spot is gone for now. Matthew Robinson in the 40. There's this battle for 3rd heating up. Maffin on the outside trying to get a little bit of a run, but Mullins on the bottom keeps the spot for now. You got Shane Wolf there lurking all over the bumper of the 6 as Robinson puts the fastest lap up. It's chaos behind Mullins.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm learning right now is how great of a track North Wilkesboro is for these late models. These things are looking really racy. Early movers, I see Dawson Miller up a few spots. I see the 34 of Rick Ward looking strong. Carter Coop up to 8th. Shane Wolf, though, diving down low on that 6. He's looking for the 4th spot.
Yep, they're side by side coming out of 2. Shane Wolf on the bottom, Moffitt up top. You got the 74 of Bustos looking to get his nose underneath. The 6 not giving up just yet. He slides up though, and Bustos looking like he's going to take the 5th spot. Holds it for now. We'll see if they go through 1 and 2 if he'll be able to come up and clear. And it looks like he will.
I just got a good feeling about Jake Bustos. He's the current leader in the ARCA Series standings. He's had a strong season. He's not super flashy. He just kind of gets it done. He's going to finish in the top 5 weekly, top 10, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, which seem to be pretty few and far between this year. He's had a really good run at things, so I would just keep an eye on that 74, man. I think he's going to be strong tonight.
We got a pick for the win in the chat. It's the 56 of Dawson Miller, starting scratch and finishing first. He's up to 11th. He started dead last in the race, and he's already up to 11th. So we'll see how the night goes on for that 56.
He's making his charge slowly but surely. Got to start somewhere, right? Unfortunately for him, looked like he had some issues in that second heat. Weren't really sure what happened there. Couldn't catch it. He was a little bit off pace. I saw him get loose a few times, finished dead last, had to start the back, but he's looking good, making his way up towards the front. There's the 6. Pierce Moffitt, another one of those guys I was talking about. He's been in the ARCA series for a few seasons now. He's, of course, running with GT Motorsports, so he's with a great team, great group of guys to really work with and practice with. Jake Bustos being one of them, and they just seem to be doing a really good job this year, and just a really strong organization overall. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that 6 up front either.
So far, we're about to be 10 laps through our 100-lap main event. Everybody seems to be spaced out.
Yeah, I think it's single file all the way through. Everybody, like you said, got a little bit of spacing between them and the car in front of them. I don't think I see a lot of pressure anywhere except maybe that 52 of Carter Coop. Looks like he's closing in on Jeremy Knapp just a tad. As Jeremy Knapp's actually closing in on the 6 as well, so could be a potential battle forming up there for around the 6th spot. Other than that, though, these guys are keeping it clean, keeping it green. We got 100 laps to, 100-lap event here tonight. I was going to say 100 laps to go. We got 90 to go. I think we're going to have to start thinking eventually here about the fuel situation. These guys are going to have to make one stop for fuel. They only have one set of tires in the pits, man, and that's been a huge topic of discussion lately, is when do you put on that set of tires?
Well, last week, for Jacob York, he put his set of tires on after the late race yellow at Stafford, and it nearly won him the race in a controversial fashion. Robinson got loose and then overcorrected, clipping the 25 of York, spinning him out. Both of those guys ended up with wrecked race cars, and scooting by on the bottom was that one of James Shanewoolf. And there are some post-race activities there following in turn 4, and that is the reason why Jacob York is not in tonight. So he got a 1-race suspension and a 50-point penalty, and that's the reason he's not in this race tonight. Just in case anyone was wondering, where's that 25 of Jacob York? I thought he'd be in this race.
Yeah, of course, Extreme Motorsports been around a super long time. They got a rule book, and man, these guys really stick to it, so I got to give them credit there. Tough call nonetheless. You hate having to do that. You hate having to suspend people. You hate having to penalize people. It's not fun, and no matter what, nobody's going to be happy, If, there's no penalty, people aren't going to be happy. If there is a penalty, people aren't going to be happy. It's just a tough call to make, but they had to make it. Leads us here to this week. We got 14 drivers, though, and so far, though, the race has been pretty good, man. Look at Miller, 56 now, working on that 34 of Rick Ward. I think he's kind of slowly working his way towards the front. I'd keep an eye on him, man. I think when he comes down and puts on a set of tires, it's gonna be pretty important there as we try to get a look at that battle going on there.
Yeah, he really, the 56 and Miller really likes this racetrack, and I think as the run goes on, this track will come to him.
Yeah, and I think another thing to think about is a lot of these drivers are newer to iRacing because they're in the late model series. Most of the time that means they're either newer to iRacing or newer to league racing, just not super comfortable yet. I think that kind of plays into the advantage of these guys because they're at a track like North Wilkesboro, something that's really only been on the service for just a few years. It's not a track where people have been practicing on for a handful of years. It's something new for everybody. I think it kind of levels the playing field, and that's why you see such a good race playing out so far with a lot of these guys just biding their time, taking care of their stuff, trying to figure out where they can run. You want to see if you move up a half a lane, is that quicker? If I try to pinch the exit of the corner off, is that quicker? You're just kind of learning and processing a lot of the information, and then you also want to think about when you put on those tires. You want to hold off if you can. You want to see if you can catch a yellow and get lucky. We'll have to see how it plays out, as that 27 looks like he's reeling in the 40 a little bit.
Yeah, he's slowly catching them. You see he's about 6-7 car lengths back from the leader, Matthew Robinson. And there you see on the left side of the screen the lap time, so this will indicate how fast these guys are going. You see a lot of them running in the 19.8s, 19.7s. They come through this time by, that time the 40 of Robinson's quicker by just a little bit. You see the majority of the field running in the 19.8s. There's some in the later 20 seconds. So there's an in-car cam. That's the number 27 of Sebastian Taylor running on board with.
See the lap times popping up there now. Robinson, I think he heard the 27 coming up a little bit. He started picking it back up and stretching out that lead a little bit. Now he's the fastest car on track again. Look at the lap time. So you see everybody's in the 19s up front, and then outside the top 5, a lot of these guys are in the 20s, except for the 20 of Jeremy Knapp and the 56 of Dawson Miller. So that Knapp lap time was looking pretty good there. He's back down into the 19.8 second bracket. So that 20 seems to be one of the quicker cars on the track right now, as well as he's working on the back bumper of Pierce Moffitt. Potential battle forming up there for 6th, and right in front of him, Jake Bustos in 5th, trying to hold them all off.
I would say that the 40 of Robinson was taking care of his tires a little bit, and maybe that's why the 27 of Taylor was catching him, because you got to remember these guys only have one set of tires. So they got to preserve that. They can't use it all up in the first 10 or 15 laps, otherwise they're going to fall off. 15 laps after that, 20, 30, it adds on. The longer the green flag run goes, the further back you're going to be.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And like I said, cautions are going to be key tonight, if we get any. We've seen, this season kind of play out where we get long green flag runs and then a late caution. Did you see the 6th there of Pierce Moffitt? How about that? He moves right around his teammate, the 74, Jake Bustos, and that brings Jeremy Knapp along with him, which Jeremy actually is a teammate as well. I just forgot with the different colors. I'm not used to seeing the yellow and green 20 in the Smoke and Joe's car, but yeah, he's actually part of GT Motorsports as well. So he's right in a GT Motorsports sandwich right now between his two teammates.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like the 74 Bustos might have gotten a little bit too high there through 3 and 4 and just decided to back out of it rather than keep fighting and risk damaging his car trying to stay in front of these 6 of Moffitt.
And hurting his teammates as well. The quicker he lets them by, the better for all 3 of them. So he didn't want to fight him, like you said, moved up high, let him go. As we see the 56 of Dawson Miller working on another passenger position. Again, this time it's the 84 Jeremy Ricky up top. Miller in that throwback scheme as well. He's working on the inside of the 84. This is for the 9th spot as we work lap number 28, man. He slowly working his way towards the front. I think we might have had a correct prediction maybe in the chat.
The lap times when it came up, he was running about a 10th or 2 off of the leaders, Robinson and Taylor, as everyone else, seemed like everyone else in front of him was running maybe about 3 or 4 car lengths off of Miller's time. Is there you see back on the screen.
So close to clearing him on the exit, but then the 84 just gets a really good run down the straightaways and pulls back even with him as they enter down at the turn 1 and 2. Just watch how close the 56 can get here. That's not a good corner for him there. As the 84 actually is probably going to clear him here as they get down to turn 3. He will.
There you saw in the background just a little bit there. It looks like we might have some lap traffic for our leaders, the 40 of Robinson, the 27 of Taylor.
Yeah, it's about a straightaway up for Robinson. He doesn't really have to worry about it yet. But yeah, he will eventually probably catch this 33 of Johnny Collier if we go green for much longer. But you see there, it's a good distance. He got some time.
I must have had him mistaken for one of the cars tailing the pack right now. So we see lap time still up.
Yeah,
here comes the 37.
37
Mullins on the bumper of the 27 of Taylor.
And Cliff Mullins, I don't know how else to say it, but he's just been such an improvement week to week in this late model series. It's like one of those like perfect examples of why don't we have cup drivers in this series? Why don't we have Xfinity drivers in this series? Well, the point of the series is to develop a lot of these guys and race with people around the same skill level so that they can get better. And I can't think of a better example of that than the 37 of Cliff Mullins. First couple of weeks of this year, the first couple of weeks of this season rather, he was kind of struggling to get up inside that top 10, top 8, and now he's a regular in the top 5. And look at this, working on Sebastian Taylor, one of the best drivers in the late model series, for second. Just another strong run again from Cliff Mullins.
Don't look too far behind, because that one of Shane Wolf slowly creeping in on them. And this could be a 3-car battle for second in a couple laps.
How about Shane Wolf, fastest car on track right now?
Yeah, he seems to be dialed in and trying to make the most of what he's got right now. Trying to stretch it. Well, as soon as we say that, falls into the 20s.
Yeah, every time I mention somebody's the fastest car on track other than the 40, the next lap the 40 is back to the fastest car on track. We got a caution. Oh, right in front of the leader. The 40 of Matthew Robinson just ran into the back of a spun out Ed Morris Sr., and he's got smoke coming out of his car.
Yup, you see the smoke from the rear of the car. That is...
Oh my goodness. I mean, that just happened out of nowhere.
Changing.
Did you see? Here's a quick look at the replay. It actually starts with the 14 to Ed Morris Sr. a little bit up ahead. Something must have happened. He got turned around, and just a late trigger there for the caution. I don't think Robinson even realized he was sitting there and just drilled him.
Wow. Yeah, that's big. We'll have to see how the 14 got around.
Yeah, right here.
There's our good old aerial shot.
Racing with the 41 there, Dean Gagliano. Not sure if there was contact made, but it definitely happened here as they were coming through 3 and 4. Morris working the top. Dean Gagliano on the bottom. Yep.
Oh, he gets into the rear.
Made. Morris gets sent around and then stops there and kind of gets rolling again in the 40. Just,
oh, man.
I don't know if he saw him. I just don't think there was a way he could have seen him sitting there, especially with these corners being so, wide. I
would have to assume the 14 of Morris was trying to head into pit road and think when's a good opportunity, and it was just bad timing on both his part and the 40.
Skew on that car. Look at the skew on the 14 after the contact.
Because I like to say that car is crab walking.
And Hunter, like I saw the same thing, the way he was pointed, it looked like that's exactly what he was looking at. He was looking to dive down into the pit lane in between the cars, and unfortunately the 40 he didn't see the caution out yet.
Exactly. I was going to mention that, Harold. That's a great point you made with pit road. I think another factor was the late trigger on the caution. It didn't feel like the caution was out right away because I didn't see a yellow flag until the 40 was about to hit the 14. So I think a lot of the different circumstances there just made for a really tough break for the 40.
Yeah, but that's going to hand the lead over to Cliff Mullins in the 37. So that's a big hit, not only in the race but in the point standings. As the 40 of Robinson, he entered this race as the points leader. He had a sizable cushion, but that cushion could be erased if Johnny Collier or James Shanewolf were to get a win. That could close the gap by more than half.
Yeah, well, a good thing for a lot of these guys, like Matthew Robinson, he's got a big enough cushion on 12th place in the standings. He's almost guaranteed to make the playoffs, and then the points reset there, with bonus points being awarded for wins. So he's actually in pretty good shape for the playoffs. So with a big 51-point lead over Johnny Collier, I don't even think he's going to lose the points tonight. But certainly with $30 to win tonight, I'm sure that's really what their focus was on, was coming in and getting some extra cash and just a tough break there. And the admins went ahead and they actually called the EOL. They gave the penalty to the 41 there for initiating the contact with the 14, which is what ultimately caused the accident. We get set to restart here. Lap 41 on the board now. Cliff Mullins and Sebastian Taylor on the front row, with the 1 of James Shanewolf and the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. They're going to restart the second row.
Here comes the pace car about to make the hard left turn. We are 40 laps in, got about 60 to go, and Cliff Mullins going to bring him back down into turn 1, green flag in the air.
Mullins, great start. He's able to clear Taylor and Shanewolf now. He's out front, and the battle is for second. The 1 and the 27 going after each other down into turn 3 and 4. Oh my goodness, those guys are really close getting into these corners.
Yeah, the 1's going to get the spot off the corner. Now he's got his eyes set on the 37 for the lead as they're shuffling all over the place behind him.
Yeah, the 37, Cliff Mullins out front. Sebastian Taylor is going to fall back to third. Shanewolf with a good run down into turn 3 and 4 there. Almost got to the back bumper. It's a whole mess of cars right behind the top 3 as well. These guys are all over each other throughout the field.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this could be a big points day for Shanewolf if he were to get the win. And I think he's trying to realize the opportunity right now.
Look at that battle we got going for 6th there. Carter Coop on the bottom. He's going to get around Jake Bustos and bring, looks like the 56 along with him. We got a 4-car pack going through turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a log jam behind the Coop machine.
Just
there you
got
see
around
the 56
Bustos.
of Miller. Ooh,
Yep.
He's underneath 84. Ringing, that's going to move him up to 8th.
56 and 84 have been going after each other for about 20 laps now.
Yeah, 56 finally got around him. Now he's got his eyes set on Bustos in front of him.
Look at this 4-car train we got up front. Mullins, Shanewolf, Taylor, and Knapp just following each other through 3 and 4, bumper to bumper.
Yeah, I don't know if that one might get to the back end of the 37 and get him a little loose, rattle his cage a little bit, trying to get in front of him. Because he's got the 27 hounding him, and right behind Taylor, it's Jeremy Knapp in the 20.
Well, we were taking a look at the lap times on the last run. I think Shane Wolf is one of the fastest cars on the long run. So I would be a little bit worried if I was one of these other drivers and I see the one get to the lead, because I just think he'll be able to stretch it out as the run goes on. So if I'm the 37 right now, I'm going to try to hold on to this lead as best as I can, but also try to keep it as clean as I can.
Oh.
Any damage on these cars is going to hurt the speed of that thing. You want to keep the thing pointed in the right direction and hopefully be able to hold off Shane Wolf, Taylor, a lot of these fast guys who are, breathing down his neck as much as they're about as close as they can get.
Here comes the one with Shane Wolf on the bottom. He's got a little bit of a run coming down the backstretch. They're going to dive it in, heading into 3 and 4, trying to get the nose underneath the 37 of Mullins. And for the moment, the one car, Shane Wolf, clears Mullins off the corner. He takes the lead.
Those guys slid off at turn 4 and you couldn't fit a sheet of paper between the 37 and the wall. It was some tight racing there, coming through 3 and 4 last time around. Shane Wolf takes over the top spot. Mullins going to take over second. He did a good job getting back in line. Shane Wolf slides it off the corner.
Drifting coming out of 4.
About halfway through, 50 down, 50 to go.
Yeah, whoa, the 37's loose also, trying to hold on to whatever he's got. Nearly clipping the wall. Taylor has to check up from that. And we're 50 laps in, and that means we have to do our halfway rundown presented by Country Road Sports Cards. As you can see, there's our leader, James Shane Wolf, right now. He just took the lead from Cliff Mullins. This could be a big point stay for him, as he's been in the top 5 all night. And right behind those, or right behind the leader, I should say, we got a battle between second, and it's Cliff Mullins in the 37. He's had a very solid night. He's progressed quite a lot throughout the season. Right underneath him, it's Sebastian Taylor in the 27. He's missed the last couple of races, so he's trying to get back into a rhythm. And he's currently underneath the 37 for second. Right behind him, it's the 20 of Jeremy Knapp in the 4th spot. He's kind of just hanging in there. He's had a solid night also. He's moved into the top 5. But right now he's got the 6 of Pierce Matha breathing down his neck. He's currently had a solid night also. He's been to the early part of the top 10. Right now he's currently 5th. And we're going to throw to Jake for the rest of the lineup.
Running 6th, the ARCA Series points leader, making a start in the late model series. The 74, Jake Bustos, kind of struggled a little bit in terms of getting up front and leading. He's been right around 4th, 5th, 6th place all night long, not able to break up to the front of the field yet and take away that top spot. Running 7th, another ARCA Series driver who came down to run the night's event, the 52 of Carter Coop. He's looked good so far, kind of had a rough starting spot, but he's slowly worked his way up to the field. Another one of those guys who's worked his way through the field, the 56 of Dawson Miller. Started dead last on the field. He's worked his way up to 8th. He's had to really, scratching claw to get there, but right now he is in the top 8, and he's having to hold off the 84 of Jeremy Rigney. Those two were going back and forth for quite a while there. As you see, Rigney looking under the 56 yet again. Rigney's had a pretty strong season. Happy to have him here in the late model series, and right behind him, a new face for tonight's race as well, the 41 of Dean Gagliano. He's inside the top 10, running with the Dogtopia scheme, also a throwback scheme for Harry Gant. So pretty cool to see Dean here in tonight's event. And then Johnny Collier in the 33, another Dogtopia car for JW Racing, followed by Rick Ward in the 34, running the Dale Earnhardt throwback. And that is a quick look at our halfway point rundown, our midway break as we took you through the field, presented by America's Auto Auction of West Michigan. Up front, James Shane Wolf continues to show the way, lap 59 on the board of 100.
Quickly turned into a 3-car battle for the lead. That 37 of Mullins has fallen off quite a bit. The 27 of Taylor, trying to get his nose underneath, nearly slides into the 1, and now he's got Knapp breathing down his neck, ready to pounce at any given moment for the 2nd spot.
Jeremy Knapp looks strong, man. He's another one of those guys. He actually started 8th, Hunter, and he's moved his way all the way up to 3rd. Slowly but surely.
We had Bustos nearly spin coming out of 2.
Yeah. I saw the silver. I thought it was Robinson for a second, and then I remembered he's still on pit road getting some damage fixed. So I was like, who is that? But yeah, Robinson and Ed Morris Sr., the only 2 drivers we've had kind of retire from the event due to damage, and it's a crazy wreck. And we got another caution. Speak of the devil. Looking like it's going to be, I'm not sure where it's at, actually.
Dawson Miller. Dawson Miller machine might have gotten into the wall a little bit.
Yeah, maybe the 56 here with the 41.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 41 center down in there and turn Dawson right around. I believe that's the speed. I mean, I'll wait for the admins to make the decision there, but you saw the 41 of Dean Gagliano. He was racing right behind the 84, and I mean, Dawson might have came down on him a little bit.
It looked like the 56 came down.
So Dean and Dawson Miller get together, coming through turns 1 and 2 on lap number 60. And that's going to bring out our second caution flag of the night. They both go for a little slide, a little bit of contact after that. But it doesn't look like they're going to be too tore up. I think both these drivers will be able to continue on. We got some guys on pit road taking tires. Just to update you real quick. Cliff Mullins, James Shanewolf, Pierce Moffitt, Jake Bustos, Carter Coop, Jeremy Rickney, Dawson Miller all came down pit road and took tires.
Yeah, if they didn't use their tires already, they're certainly using them up now.
And Sebastian Taylor in the 27 was the only car, I believe, that stayed out on track there. So,
I'm
going to try to back it up.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure. I want to be clear here. Okay, yeah, so the 27 of Sebastian Taylor and the 20 of Jeremy Knapp, as well as the 33 of Johnny Collier. Actually, there's a handful of guys that stayed out there. So our top 5 are drivers that stayed out there and did not pit. There we go.
Alrighty, well, there's our top 5 of the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100 on the Extreme Motorsports channel.
The fonts are on point.
Oh yeah, all on point.
Sebastian Taylor, Jeremy Knapp, Dean Gagliano, Johnny Collier, and Rick Ward did not pit, and they will be out on older tires. The rest of the field did come down and get tires, and they're going to be listening real quick. So they did call the penalty there on the 41 for bringing out the caution, which means that's the second penalty of the night, which means he will have to serve a drive-through penalty under green.
Very interesting very interesting to see there.
So we got lap 65 on the board. Just a reminder here, ladies and gentlemen, with 10 laps to go, we will be going to our poll for the favorite paint scheme of the night. Our final 4 drivers are James Shanewolf, Jeremy Knapp, Matthew Robinson, and Carter Coop. You guys will get to decide who's got the best looking throwback scheme, and they will get $30 for having the best looking throwback car, courtesy of Miller Racing Graphics for tonight's Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100. So make sure you guys stick around here. We'll put up that poll in about 25 more laps, and that poll will last 10 minutes, and we'll get to see who is the best looking throwback according to you guys after tonight's race.
It looks like the pace car is going to pull in this time by. We got Sebastian Taylor leading the field back to green with Jeremy Knapp on his outside. Dean Gagliano in third, but not for long. He's got to come in and serve that drive-through under green. Alongside him is Johnny Collier in 33. So there to go back into turn 1. 41 of Gagliano really setting back the inside lane on that restart. They're all over the place back there. They're nearly 4 wide going through 3. That's really kind of jumbled up the field already, but Taylor taking off. Oh, now he's back.
Taylor up front, Jeremy Knapp going to second place. The 41 of Dean Gagliano, he came down pit road to serve his drive-through penalty. Up front, Sebastian Taylor, Jeremy Knapp, and how about James Shanewolf on the fresh tires? He's already up to the 3rd spot, and he's hunting down the leaders. He's going to try to take away this.
He just turned the 33 of Collier going in the 1. Caution's back out.
You scared me.
I saw it on the corner of my eye on the screen. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, good call
He absolutely sent it going into turn 1 there. The 33 went high through 3 and 4, and I was just about to say the 56 moving up quite a bit.
He was one of those guys who came in on fresh tires. 33 was actually out on older tires there. But yeah, good call out there, Hunter. I mean, that 33 and 56 contact was made. That's going to send the 33 up into the wall. And probably going to get the EOL there on the 56. Hunter, I'm curious to see, do any of these guys got tires left? I think everybody's already pitted that wanted to pit, but going to give them another opportunity here. Don't see any takers in the top 7.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the top 7 would come down pit road either. We got less than 30 to go in the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100 here on the Extreme Motorsports Twitch channel. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, watching, sharing, subbing, following. There you see the 41 of Gagliano. He was a lap down, so he was the lucky dog. That
Right.
caution happened it happened right in front of him. He was just coming out of pit road.
And it was a perfect break for him. Now he gets his lap back after having to serve a penalty.
And I believe he'll be up to 11th on the restart, because I believe they're going to give the EOL to Dawson Miller. That's going to put him at the tail end of the field.
Yep, and just got the admin call. Had to listen in real quick on the race channel. But yeah, they 56 will get the EOL for that one. They're going to go ahead and give it to him when they get 2 to go for the restart, and he will have to start at the tail end, which means Dean Gagliano, who is the lucky beneficiary of that caution, gets the free pass. He'll be up to P11 when we go back to racing here with 28 laps to go. Man, it's been a quick one.
Yeah. Had a couple of cautions in the last handful of laps or so. That's really kind of set things up. And I was just going to say, when they took the green flag that last time by, it seemed like Gagliano really backed off quite a bit. And it really stacked up the inside line. As there you see our race recap presented by Extreme Motorsports for the Miller Racing Graphics 100. Sebastian Taylor is currently your leader right now. We've had our just now third caution for about 12 laps, could be 13. 14 guys in the field, and once again, the fastest lap, 19.351 for number 40 of Matthew Robinson.
There you see the 56 drop into the tail end of the field here, as that was our race recap presented by Extreme Motorsports up front. They're going to get the 1 to go signal this time by, in an interesting choice. The leader, Sebastian Taylor, is going to choose the top for this restart. Jeremy Knapp's going to restart second. He'll be on the bottom. Third's going to be James Shadewolf. Fourth will be Jeremy Rigby, and restarting fifth, the number 6 is Pierce Matthews.
Yeah, really interesting to see if that top groove is gonna prevail on this restart here. The 27 is the control car. We'll just have to wait and see.
I just had to point out the wind is actually moving tonight.
It's from the east at 3 miles an hour. Now 4. Can we see 5?
There it is!
Oh, man. Oh, what the wind will do. All right, we're back green here. About 26 laps to go. Taylor's going to send it, and he's got the spot going into 1. Yeah.
Really good idea there by Sebastian Taylor taking the top. He shot out on the restart, cleared the rest of the field, and then moved down to the bottom. Now Shane Wolf, how about that? He's stuck in traffic behind the 20 of Jeremy Rigby because he had to restart on the bottom behind him. So the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. So Knapp is going to take over the second spot. Shane Wolf back to third. They're battling for fourth. Pierce Maffitt's going to get the low advantage on Jeremy Rigby up top. Those guys are side by side, and we got the 74 going around. He saves
Everybody's keeping it straight. No caution yet. We're still green.
That was quite the save there by the 74. He was about 90 degrees sideways, and he was able to straighten her out, keep her going, and honestly didn't even lose that much track position.
Yeah, but the 27 of Taylor's still pulling away from everyone else.
Wow, they're really getting racy right around the top 5 spot. I think business is picking up. 23 laps to go. Jeremy Rigby, Jeremy Knapp, Pierce Maffitt, they're all going after each other. Carter Coop thinking about sending it down in there on the 84, not able to do it that corner. The 84 is going to get the drive off. He'll keep that spot. Sebastian Taylor's loving what he's seeing. He's starting to pull away a little bit. But not for long. James Shamewolf has moved up into second with Pierce Maffitt on his back bumper. Man, it's going to get good. I have a feeling this race is going to get good. There's a lot of battling going on throughout the field. The 20 sideways off the floor.
He's keeping it straight, holding on to it.
Smoking Joe smoking the tires. Look at that. He's going to save it, keep it pointed in the right direction. Shane Wolf he's got his hands full. That number 1 of James Shane Wolf is going to have a real busy next 20 laps trying to hold off the 6 Pierce Maffitt. He's not able to do it. Pierce Maffitt looking to the bottom as they enter turn 1 and 2. Shane Wolf shuts the door on him.
Yeah, they are. They're all over the place back there. Looks like the battle for 5th is under fire, but that second spot, it's up for grabs.
That second spot is heating up, man. It is heating up, and they're not letting the 27 of Sebastian Taylor get too far away from him either. which is a good thing for all three of those guys. Well, I guess it's probably not good for Taylor. Taylor wishes he was gone,
Ooh.
but man, these guys are just they're driving it. They're giving it their all right now. And Pierce Moffitt kind of missed that corner a little bit, backed up a little bit from the one of James Shane Wolf. Now Shane Wolf is reeling in the 27, but if he gets to the back bumper of the 27, that's going to bring everybody else back up to him.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of recoup that one car, trying to be like, okay, don't have anyone behind me. Gotta just focus on getting the leader.
20 Jeremy Knapp holding off Rigney for 4th. How about Dawson Miller moved up to 8th? Remember, he had to restart in the back again, and he's kind of made his way towards the front slowly but surely. We'll see if he can keep charging up. The 20 there, Smoking Joe's machine, Jeremy Knapp, one of our finalists for the best appearing throwback tonight. Running a pretty good race, man. He's meeting these top 5 runs. He's had a solid season so far, and he's another one of those guys you can just tell the improvement every single week.
I mean, we're seeing everyone sort of spread out now. It's that battle for 5th that's kind of stacked up a little bit there. Rigney, Coop, and Mullins. Oh, there we go. We got a spin. It's going to be, yep, our Coop. That's going to bring out the caution once more here with about 15 laps to go.
Yeah. I'm nervous. I'm going to get nervous for these guys. They're going to have like 10 laps to go as we take a look at a replay here. Mullins in the 37.
He clipped the grass and got help from the 37 of Mullins. That's what sent him sideways.
Luckily, another one of those spins, though, where we don't see a lot of damage on either car. I think these guys are going to be okay. I mean, Carter's tires probably aren't in the best shape after locking them down like that and sliding, but, you know, I don't think he's going to be out of the race either, as these guys are on the front stretch now. I believe this is our 3rd caution of the race?
That's our fourth caution of the race.
So,
I was just going to say, that caution, I think that we won't see an EOL there. That might go down as a racing incident.
Yeah, I think with the 52 clip in the grass there, you can see it just send you sideways after you get down in there. And this is an easy track to do that. The grass, unlike any other track really on the circuit, the grass in turn 1 and 2 is right. I mean, that is the apron. There is no real boundary separating the grass in the racing surface. They are right next to each other. 3 and 4 as well, for that matter. So it's a tough circuit, and if you clip the grass, you see what happens.
3 and 4 actually has the high curb.
Oh yes, that's right. So
And
1 and 2 is easy to get down.
But the high curb will upset you, throw you out to the outside retaining wall.
Right.
Got
Of
a
course, it's our
double
producer,
file.
Harold, with the knowledge coming in.
Yeah, the cup cars here a couple times, and the slippery stuff gets you a little loose. The other stuff sends you right to the walls.
Well, we saw one of those examples, and I don't want to see another example of that for 3 and 4.
So, how about this? We got Sebastian Taylor, who's returned to the series after 2 weeks off. Coming in, he's the leader with 10 to go on probably one of the biggest races we've had of the season so far. And just, you got to feel for Matthew Robinson, an innocent bystander in that first yellow, man. Just probably just didn't know what was going on. Late caution, ran into the back of the 14 Ed Moore Sr. and ended his night early when he was looking strong, and it pretty much opened it up to the rest of the field. And man, it is going to get good. 12 laps to go before we get this thing restarted. I just don't know what to expect, man. I think it's going to get wild.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Crazy yet, we're about to see it on this restart here. I believe we're going to get the one to go this time by.
We 10 to go when we go back green.
Yep.
You know what that means? So with 10 to go, when we get to green flag, that means our poll will open up. You guys will have 10 minutes to decide. Make sure you get your votes in on the best looking throwback scheme of the night. You got the 1 of James Shane Wolf, the 20 of Jeremy Knapp, the 40 of Matthew Robinson, and the 52 of Carter Coop. Those are the 4 options. And our final group, the winner of that vote will get $20 to the winner of the best appearing throwback. And then $30 to the winner of tonight's actual race as we're getting set to restart here. Sebastian Taylor on the bottom, James Shane Wolf on the top, and Pierce Moffitt and Jeremy Knapp looking from the second row to take advantage of any little mistake they see. Green flag is out. Sebastian Taylor gets a good jump on the bottom.
Just about to say, keep an eye on that 56 of Miller. We could see something happen where he just shoots up the track.
Shane Wolf is on the back bumper of that 27, getting down to the
Oh, nearly gets
Man.
into him.
Those
He's
guys are
all
racing
over that
hard
bumper.
for the top spot. I mean, Shane Wolf is on the back bumper. Now here comes the 6 of Pierce Moffitt down low.
Moffitt trying to take away that second spot. Meanwhile, the one with Shane Wolf trying to get a run up top to get some sort of a run on that 27. He gets it. They're dead even going into 3. And the 27 trying to not clip that apron there. But the one of Shane Wolf gets to run off the corner, still dead even at the line. Man, what a battle.
What a battle for the top spot. And the 6th of Pierce Moffitt's just waiting on any little mistake. They're door to door off the turn 2. It is some tight racing. Shane Wolf's going to power by him on the top side.
Oh, the Taylor machine gets in.
Oh,
we got spin. It's Knapp in the back. Watch out, everyone else. Oh, he spins to the inside wall. Oh, my goodness. What a hit.
Dawson Miller just destroyed. Watch this replay here. The 20 of Jeremy Knapp gets down into Miller.
Oh, my goodness.
And he destroys the pit entry, and it causes a big one, man. Probably one of the biggest wrecks we've seen this season.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, we saw someone hit the pit entry earlier in practice. Didn't know if we were going to see that again for the race. But, I mean, wow, what a hit. And I said keep an eye on the 56. I didn't mean it like that. I thought he was going to shoot up the track and move up into 3rd or 4th. Man.
I caught it at the corner of my eye like you did earlier, man. All I see is the 56, and I just see him plow that pit entry wall. If we can get another look at that, man, that was big. And then we still had about 5 or 6 cars piling in afterwards because they were all right there. I would say that was probably the biggest wreck we have seen this season. It all started right there with the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. Man, just a tough deal as you see. It was actually, this was the lap before leading up to here.
It's going to be the 84 of Jeremy Ringney that's going to initiate some contact with the 20.
Here they go down the back straightaway. You see the 20 just ahead of the red and white 56 car right there, gets turned. 84 hits him. And then just that contact there with
oh my God, we had a car go upside down. That's the 74 of Bustos. Yeah, it was off our screen. Yeah, so the 84 of Ringney climbs the wall. The 74 of Bustos ends up on his lid. And then the 56 of Miller ends up in the pit wall. A lot going on there in that caution. Oh my goodness. There's the 84 of Ringney right there blowing up on the front stretch.
Trying to ride around for a few more laps and get some position on a lot of these guys. Just a tough break. A lot of those guys that were involved in that one are weekly regulars to the series, like the 56, the 84, the 20, of course, who you see on your screen now. The 52 of Carter Koopman. Tough break. He came in, he was looking good, and just got spun on the second to last caution, and then that one, chaos just ensues, and it's just hard to miss it. You see the 40, Matthew Robinson, another one of those guys out of the race so far. It has been a crazy race. It really has been.
You gotta get my water, man. Oh my. We're getting the one to go this time by, or is it gonna be next time?
Just got the one to go. They're gonna start doubling up. The leader is James Shane Wolf in the 1. He's gonna take the bottom. How about the 27 of Sebastian Taylor is gonna restart on the top? Hunter, we got a green-white checkered finish coming up here for the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100.
I was just about to say, it's going to be a green-white checker to settle it out in North Wilkesboro. Does the 27 of Taylor end up on top? Does the one of Shane Wolf get the win? Who knows? Maybe Mullins or Moffitt behind could pull through and get the win.
Pace car is in. Up front, Sebastian Taylor. Green flag. Shane Wolf gets a great jump. The 84 still blowing up on the front straightaway. Moffitt's going to send it down in there from 3rd. Not able to get underneath him. Taylor's going to be on the back bumper of Shane Wolf as they enter the back straightaway. This time around through 3 and 4, Shane Wolf protects the bottom. Sebastian Taylor trying everything he's got to get under him for the $30 prize here tonight. White flag, 1 to go, bumper to bumper down into turn 1.
I will say, be aware of the bumper here as they go through turn 2 for the final time. The 27 of Taylor on the bottom of Shane Wolf. Here they come through 3 and 4. Could we see a Louisiana dive bomb? No, not even close. The one of Shane Wolf's going to come off of turn number 4 and win the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100 at North Wilkesboro. Shane Wolf steals another one for the 2nd straight week.
That was absolutely insane. I cannot believe that finish we just had. Clean racing up front between Shane Wolf and Sebastian Taylor and Pierce Moffitt, for that matter. All 3 of those guys were going after one another for the win. And I just cannot believe they stayed clean there. Credit to those guys. But James Shane Wolf getting it done again. He's burning it down on the front straightaway. And the Donnie Allison Throwback, that number 1 car, doing some doing some donuts and some pretty good ones on this front straightaway. As you see the 34, another throwback scheme, and Shane Wolf's going to win the $30 prize tonight, and he's got a chance to win the $20 prize for the throwbacks contest as well.
Yeah, it could be a $50 night. Yeah.
Got a smoke show going on.
Yeah, smoke show on the front stretch. Wow. So here's our race recap presented by Extreme Motorsports. We've had 5 yellows for 25 laps. Matthew Robinson's still with the fastest time, but up top, James Shane Wolf. He steals yet another win for the second straight week and claims victory once more at North Wilkesboro. Oh, here's your finishing results presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. James Shane Wolf, winner once more in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. Sebastian Taylor, after a couple weeks off, comes back, nearly gets it done, just comes home short in second. Pierce Maffin seemed like he was going to have a shot at the end, keeps it clean for third. Jeremy Knapp, he comes home fourth, and Johnny Collier rounding out the top 5.
Cliff Mullins with another solid run. He'll come home 6th. 7th, Rick Ward. 8th is going to be Jeremy Rigney. 9th, Dean Gagliano. And 10th is going to be Carter Coop in the number 52. Rounding out our field here tonight, Dawson Miller, Jake Bustos, Ed Moore Sr., and Matthew Robinson. That is our finishing results here. As I'm going to try to pull up the number 1 of James Shane Wolf. I'm sure he's probably going to be a pretty happy guy. Getting some words with him real quick. Meanwhile, while all you guys are down here watching, we still got the poll going on. A few minutes left for that, so you guys can vote for your favorite throwback scheme of the night. And one of your options is our race winner, the number 1 of James Shane Wolf, man, in victory lane. You get it done. I think that was a pretty nerve-wracking finish.
Man, that was wild.
I know you had Taylor on your back bumper. You just got around him on the last, restart before that. Kind of walk us through those last 10 laps with everything going on.
Man, I burnt my right rear up early and was just holding on to it. Sebastian had plenty of opportunities to run me over, and I gave him plenty of chances. He just didn't take me up on the offer. So thanks to him for not wrecking me. But there at the end, I made a pit stop on the second caution. Got my right side tires put on because I just couldn't drive the thing anymore. And the way everything fell out, I had the freshest tires up front, I believe, or at least I had it in my head that I did, and just was able to hold on to the outside of them. I didn't think it was going to work, but we were able to make it stick and edge them out right before that yellow flag came out, and it gave us the lead going into the final restart, and we're able to hold them off.
Yeah, that was one of the crazier races we've really seen all season in the late model series. You've been around for most of these ones, and where would you kind of rank tonight's race in total with the track? It's obviously North Wilkesboro kind of being new to iRacing with all the stuff going on. Of course, the Throwback 100, the throwback schemes. What were your thoughts on the night in total?
Man, out of all the wins, I say it like I've got a lot here in Extreme, but this definitely is up there. Really cool event. Shout out to Miller Racing Graphics for putting the money up and making this idea come to fruition here. Really cool thing to be a part of, let alone win. It was a fun race. I feel bad for Matt Robb. He was definitely the class of the field tonight. Just didn't have luck on his side, but it was cool to be a part of all this and to come out on top. It's just an awesome feeling.
Well, I got some more good news for you. We got a few minutes left in the poll, and it's a close one. So right now you are currently leading on the favorite throwback scheme contest.
Awesome.
You got 54% of the vote. Jeremy Knapp's close, though, man, with 44% of the vote. Real quick, before we let you go here, are there any, sponsor shout-outs you want to give? I know you're part of Samson, so you guys do, you're running here on Monday nights and Tuesday nights, I believe, part-time. So any shout-outs you want to give?
Just shout out to my buddy Drew Trader at One Mind Two Design. He brought me in, taught me the ropes on how to paint these cars, and I painted my own tonight. And he's walked me through all that. Been a helping hand. 2:00 in the morning, I'll message him on Facebook and be like, "Hey, I have a problem," and he hops right on. So he's been a real big part of at least making me look good. I may not be the fastest, but we've usually got one of the best looking cars on track. So shout out to him for teaching me how to do that. And if anybody needs a paint done, please get with them. One Mind Two Design on Facebook. We also have a motorsports page, One Mind Two Design Motorsports, and One Mind Two Design is all one word. Shout out to everybody at Samson Motorsports for all their help throughout the weeks, through all the series. Northern Capital, Curtis Vollmer, all those guys are such a big help. Shout out to everybody. I just seen that the poll ended. Shout out to everybody that voted for me in the throwback scheme. I've got a big friend group, and I think some of them forked out some of their own money. They probably spent more than $20 to make sure I got this $20 tonight. So shout out to those guys, man. It means a ton.
Yeah, well, I wanted to bring in Dawson Miller here real quick because, like you said, the poll just ended. So not only did James Shane Wolf win the race here tonight for the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100, but it looks like he also got the favorite throwback scheme as well here, Dawson, for your awesome event here tonight.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming together and participating. You did great. Everybody had great looking cars. Congratulations, James, on winning the race and the throwback competition.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you again for putting this on, man. Really cool deal that you did here. And if anybody else needs paints done, Miller Racing Graphics. I know I've got my own thing with that, but you ain't gonna hurt my feelings none if you guys go to Miller and get your cars done.
Well, we appreciate that, James. Appreciate it, Dawson, for putting up the event tonight, the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100. And congratulations one more time to James. And thank you guys for coming out and putting on an awesome event.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully this can be a sign of something that Extreme can do more often, more races like this.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to let you guys go. James, Dawson, thanks again, guys. I'm sure we'll see you guys back here next week.
Sir, thank you, Jacob.
So that was our winner, James Shane Wolf Hunter. He was able to get home the favorite throwback scheme contest as well.
Yeah, I mean, that one car is starting to heat up at the right moment. We've only got 2 races left in their regular season before the playoffs start. Next week, it'll be New Smyrna for the Dogtopia 100, and then New Hampshire, the season finale, the regular season finale for the Dogtopia 100 again. And that one car is starting to heat up at the right time. And mentioned earlier, from the unfortunate circumstances surrounding Matthew Robinson and that early race yellow, Shane Wolf capitalized here with a big win. That's going to be his 3rd win of the year, ties Robinson for the most in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, and that points gap, I believe it's about, say, 60 points, maybe 70 points. No, 50 points, sorry. That's about cut in half and then some for Shane Wolf as he's closed the gap quite a bit. So there's our current standings. This was before tonight. You see their 51-point gap there. Collier, he got top 5, so that's going to help him also, but it's not as good as a win for Shane Wolf.
Look how close the points are going to shake up after tonight. Shane Wolf was tied for second coming in. He finished ahead of Collier and Robinson. He's going to be getting pretty close to that lead of Matthew Robinson as we enter race number 9 next week. Of course, these are the pre-race standings coming into tonight. But, man, go ahead and wrap it up there as you see 11th through 20th in the playoff cutoff line, that 12th spot. I don't think we saw anybody around the second screen here tonight. So we'll have to see how that shakes out next week with Jacob York coming back. But awesome event nonetheless. The Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100. I would call this night a success, Hunter.
Yeah, it was indeed a success. I mean, we've had close racing, some tempers. I wouldn't say tempers flaring, but we saw a lot of carnage. Saw a car go on its side, upside down, in the wall, in the pit wall. Yeah. I mean, it's been all sorts of chaos here at North Wilkesboro, and Shane Wolf just capitalizes on all of it.
Yep. Well, for our producer, Harold, my co-commentator here, Hunter, holding it down, running the show, man, you guys did an awesome job. And I appreciate everybody in chat, man. You guys, first off, I just want to take a second here, man. You guys did an amazing job tonight with the polls. We had, I think it was something crazy. I think we had close to 200. We had almost 200 votes in our final poll here tonight, which is just insane. I can't thank everybody enough for checking out this Twitch channel and following along. And you guys, have really supported us, and we appreciate it. And hopefully we have some good news to announce here coming up in the next few weeks. But we'll have to see what happens until then. We'll see you guys back here next Sunday for another race here in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series at New Smyrna. So it'll be a great one. That'll be the Dogtopia 100. But thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. Really appreciate it, for following along, subbing to the channel, bits, everything you guys have done. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.